All right, hi Founder fans, Jason here. I just hit a bunch of the wrong buttons, as you may have noticed. Welcome to trivia. Friday night, having fun. I see Ashley's here. Anyone else popping into play? Let me know you're here, so that when we start getting going, which will be in just a second or two, I can know to wait to get your answer. Now we're playing against each other for the most part, but all on the same team. If you're new here, we got a bunch of games where we play together. Got a bunch of regular trivia questions coming up shortly. I do want to say real quick, I did not do a weekly wrap up yesterday, and I am embarrassed that I forgot to tell everyone that I wasn't doing it because we had a little excursion as a family just to Ithaca, about an hour away. Had some fun events, went to some science museums. Did not history stuff. We did science stuff mostly. Fun adventures for the kids and such. But I am going to be doing that tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I will do last week's weekly wrap up, which should have taken place yesterday. I apologize for not telling you in advance. Diamond T Bar. Well, let's play. Ashley, just two of us here. That's all right. We usually start off with some of the easier questions, anywho. So let's pop over. Let's do Let's do that trivia. We are going to start off with this question. Question number one. Oh, looks like my bit rate is a little bit slower now. I am about 6 seconds ahead of you. For whatever reason, it just pops up. It gives me. I try and do it at the lowest possible rate. Um, Hopefully my audio is coming through. If we're having a problem, let me know. It's telling me my audio might be having a little trouble, but that's because, again, I do it at the slowest rate so that we can be as close together as possible. We're only 6 seconds apart. Actually, I should say we are a full 6 seconds apart. Usually it's more like 3 or 4 seconds. Anyway, question number the first. What happened in Philadelphia on September 5th, 1774? And once again, what happened in the Philadelphia September 5th, 1774? I'm using one of these What Happened Here cards that I like so much. We got two of those today. Again, a little confused as to why it's giving me issues. But it seems like you can at least read it if you can't hear me, because Ashley came through with an answer. Diamond, you got an answer? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait as long as I can. Because while I am 6 seconds ahead of myself on YouTube sometimes, you guys get a little bit more even delayed than that. So I will try and stall as long as I can to make sure everyone gets a chance to answer. If it comes through, historical, welcome to the party. And saying pretty much the same thing as Ashley, and you're saying pretty much what's right. The First Continental Congress did gavel itself into session. I presume they used a gavel on September 5th, 1774. So again, starting out with a little bit easier questions. That's okie dokie. You know, people generally roll in a little bit slower. Again, I will be doing the weekly wrap up tomorrow for anyone popping in a little bit late at 11 in the morning. Next question. What battle claimed more lives through heat and sunstroke than through bullets? I know that's it might not seem like the easiest question, but it is um, fairly well known, and it should be well known. And if you don't know it, now you do. At least after I give you the answer. So, what battle claimed more lives through heat and sunstroke than through bullets? And I'll even acknowledge myself. I've never been a gigantic military history fan or nerd, I should say. While I've been doing Founder of the Day these last few years, I have very much done my best to study the military aspects that I didn't necessarily dive into as a younger person, just to make sure I can give you a full, well-rounded review of the American Revolution. I do see two answers coming in. We've got some differing opinions. We got Ashley with Monmouth and historical with Bunker Hill. It's Bunker Hill. I pronounce things silly sometimes, and the truth of the matter is, it is the Battle of Monmouth. I can see why you would say that with Bunker Hill, but that's because they ran out of bullets at Bunker Hill and forced to retreat. But no, Monmouth was possibly in excess of 100 degrees that day, and really super sweaty. Now, I pronounce it Monmouth. It might be Monmouth or Monmouth, but I believe the correct pronunciation is Monmouth. Um, that being said, yeah, July 28th, 1778. That battle is actually more famous for Charles Lee haphazardly ordering retreat and getting a good tongue lashing from General Washington when Washington arrived on the scene with his supporting army. Yeah, it was so hot that people carrying these big bags and everything, they were literally just dying on the field. Uh, Pretty intense. Tell you what, we're gonna do one or two more, and then we'll move over to our team effort. And now I am using this card from this game I have. It is today's topic is the Stamp Act, so these are gonna be Stamp Act related questions. For example, question number 1: Who was in Britain arguing against the Stamp Act? This question was worded poorly on the card, so I changed it a little bit. And to be more specific, who was representing many of the colonies in Britain arguing against the Stamp Act? The card itself says who went to Britain to argue against the Stamp Act, and then gives 3 names, which makes it a little too easy. I don't like that question because this person, anyone joining us, let us know you're here. Throw out a question. Again, this question on the card I'm using is worded a little poorly. The person was already there. They didn't go to Britain to argue against the Stamp Act. They were in Britain and were arguing against the Stamp Act before it was even passed. I do see a few correct answers here. Yes, the answer is Benjamin Franklin. He was already there as agent to at least 3 colonies, arguably more at that time. He was kind of the colonial representative, but he was representing Pennsylvania. I think it was, Massachusetts and one of the southern states. It might have been Georgia. I don't believe it was South Carolina. I believe South Carolina had their own representatives, but Georgia at this point, I believe, said Franklin was representing them, though he never really accepted that position. They were just like, whatever Franklin decides. Again, Georgia was super small and barely populated in the 1760s, probably about 30,000 people. Approximately the same size as the city of Philadelphia itself. So, yes. Again, I didn't love how that question was worded. We're going to do one more. Anyone popping in, let us know you're here so I can wait for your answers. I am a few seconds ahead of you guys. That's just how it naturally works out on YouTube. And I do want to wait and give you the opportunity to answer. We have a true or false question. True or false, after many protests by colonists, the Stamp Act was repealed. I should not have put a question mark there. It should be a statement because it's true or false. And I'll read, I abbreviated it from the card, which actually says, after many protests by colonists, the Stamp Act was repealed, called off, in parentheses, by the British government. So we're seeing, I got a bunch of people here not playing yet. If you don't want to play, that's fine. Play along at home. That's absolutely fine. But if you did want to participate, that's what the comment box is for. So I do see historical popping in, saying true. Ashley saying true, following the leader. Was there a reason they chose Franklin? Yes. One moment. If anyone else wants to play, it looks like it's just Ashley and historical playing out right now. The answer is false. The answer is true. I'm sorry. The answer is true. I don't know what I was thinking. Yes, the Stamp Act was repealed after many protests of colonists, but, and I don't want to answer a future question. So there is another question coming up that I want to elaborate on which is why I said false. Certainly, the Stamp Act was repealed, and that was after there were protests by colonists, though that's not necessarily the core reason that the Stamp Act was repealed. That being said, I'm going to answer Ashley's question real quick. Was there a reason they chose Franklin? Are you referencing Georgia? I think it was Georgia. I should double check before I say that. It might have been North Carolina. But I do believe it was Georgia. And yes, Ben Franklin was wildly famous. He, first of all, had been printing Poor Richard's Almanac in Philadelphia, but then he franchised out his printing press to other places. There was one in South Carolina, New York, Connecticut. He actually is the first future American to franchise his business in that nature at what we would consider today a modern franchise. And he did it with the printing press. So therefore, his Poor Richard's Almanac was printed all over the colonies. And it was so successful that he would other papers would also print it. And that means most of the American founders grew up reading Benjamin Franklin. So by the 1760s, Franklin had already been retired for like 15 years. And by the time he retired, he had been hired by the king as the British Postmaster General. He was in charge of the postal routes throughout the North American colonies. Therefore, it added to his fame, it added to his respectability, and then he had gone to Europe. Now, he had already been to Europe and back a few times, but by the time of the Stamp Act Congress, he had been there about a decade in England, already acting as Pennsylvania's representative to the crown, what they called an agent to the crown and parliament. And he was, the other colonies saw him doing what they saw as a good job and also hired him as their guy. This was not necessarily uncommon. Some colonies put this responsibility in the hands of several people because it was a big job. for everything. Because again, the king and country were running the entire show. King and Parliament, I should say. Because that, that's everything from the economy to laws to postal service, just literally everything had to be done over there. Again, leading to one of the many reasons that the colonists wanted a little more self-control. Great. So that's a very brief answer. Don't want to get too off the quick trivia train here. But yeah, Franklin was wildly famous. He was, yes, historically, he was a total celebrity. And I forgot to add that he had already begun doing his science experiments at this point. He had already his kite with a key experiment is a little inflated, but he was experimenting with electricity with a kite and key and tools. And he had already invented the lightning rod, which the lightning rod is one of the most important inventions in world history. And that's the real reason when he goes to France, having never been to France before, his image was already on all sorts of plates and calendars and all sorts of tchotchkes and gadgets that you might sell as a souvenir by the time Franklin first set foot in France after the revolution starts, because his lightning rod was so extraordinarily important, it was saving churches. Because churches were generally the tallest building in town, so that's what got struck by lightning, and then they catch fire. And the lightning rod stopped churches from burning down. Some people thought this was bad, because when a church got struck by lightning, that was God saying, you're being punished for being evil. And many other people said, well, no, we just don't want our churches to get struck by lightning anymore. So he was, as historical said, a celebrity. America's first international celebrity. One of the many, many things he did. So not only was he known for his foreign policy working overseas, for his being an author, for being a franchisee, for starting hospitals and fire departments, especially in Philadelphia, for the postal service. So, whammy. Franklin's an amazing character. Franklin, I like to reference, people often call George Washington the first citizen, which is true. But I like to call Benjamin Franklin the first American. At a time where people thought of themselves as New Yorkers or Virginians, Ben Franklin was the first American. And yes, historical, he was certainly, James Otis did get struck by lightning. He kind of predicted it in a weird way. And that was after he had lost his mental faculties. And James Otis is also an amazing story, though a very sad one, because he is really the leader of revolutionary Boston. Then he gets in what essentially is a bar fight and hits his head. Now, we don't know if it was hitting his head that led to him losing his mental capacities, or if that had already begun by this point, because there is evidence to say he may have already begun losing some of his mind, unfortunately. But either way, he kind of is pushed aside by his friends, John Adams, Sam Adams, John Hancock, Joseph Warren. They kind of push him aside despite being the first earliest leader, because he's like now saying just crazy things. Like, and I don't mean to reference, I know it's not polite to say mental illness and crazy in the same sentence, but he was mentally ill, and some of the things he was saying sounded pretty crazy. So I'm gonna get off that. Hi, Nick. Thank you for coming. Everyone else who's here, thank you for playing. We are doing trivia, but we are gonna pop over here to have some fun with today's little quiz. We're all gonna work together. It's only a 5-minute quiz. Can you name the key politicians and other notable figures during George Washington's presidency, 1789 to 1797? Some of these you'll see have numbers. Excuse me. That means there's more than one correct answer. We only need one correct answer for each of these. And down at the bottom, we do talk about the first family. So I am going to wait until someone tells me who the president was when George Washington was president. And then I am going to hit play on the quiz. And then we'll look at some of these other fun positions, many of which we have definitely covered. Some of which throughout Founder of the Day's history, I've certainly covered, I would assume, at least the correct answer to all of these. The other problem is I am a few seconds ahead of you. So I will also say, we're looking for a vice president. You might want to type that in after we get the first president during George Washington's presidency. Wink, wink. All right, and historical, setting it off. Okay. George Washington was certainly president when George Washington was president. That is a silly question. Adams was vice president. And, oh, one of the ambassadors. No, the thing is, okay, we'll get to that, but that's probably John Quincy's name is somewhere on that big list that popped out down there. John Jay was certainly a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and a Supreme Court appointee. Okay, that's kind of a double right there. Morris. Was Morris in there? No, Morris does not fit any of these. Randolph. We do have Randolph as Attorney General, and he became Secretary of State. That's right. Hamilton certainly had some things to do. Multiple is a correct answer. Coates. Tench Coates. No. No, he never holds any of the particular positions here. He was certainly instrumental to Alexander Hamilton's financial plan. Muhlenberg, he was Speaker of the House. That's a good answer, Nick. Well done. Jefferson was definitely up there. Oh, but we already got Randolph as Secretary of State. Ames, yes, I believe he's on there, but we must have already, again, we get one name on one of these lists and it's gone. Wilson, no, James Wilson didn't hold these. Knox, Secretary of War, absolutely. Dayton, nope, doesn't find his name on this list. Madison, there. Oh, Bill of Rights author. There you go. Oh, he's got his very own. What do you know? Monroe was in the Senate. Okay, I think I'm keeping up. Don't want to miss one. What are we looking for? We need a president pro tempore of the Senate. Mason. No, he stays in Virginia. Mason was at the Constitutional Convention, though he left without signing the document because he didn't care for it. And Mason never really does much on the national stage, other than being very influential in his writings. Obviously, did have a big. We need a secretary to the president, who also married one of his family members. Oh, we also have a first lady here, whose name did not come up when we typed Washington. So, what is her maiden name? We also need one of his family members, which would probably be different than the maiden name they're looking for, because the sons and daughters, they had the father's name who passed away. Martha. Okay, so Custis is going to be a Custis is a correct answer. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong, but we are going to count that because his adopted son, John Park Custis, is correct. But Martha's maiden name was not Custis. That was her first married name. A very tricky question. Secretary of the President actually marries one of the daughters. Again, Custis. Should be right. Custis. I don't know why that's not working. Very peculiar. We are going to count that because that is a correct answer. Senior officer to the United States Army. I will say one of these correct answers also... one of the correct answers has a great nickname. And okay, no, I don't want to say. I had another hint, but that would give it away. I'd literally be giving the answer. President pro tempore of the Senate is, that's a very tough one. There it is, historical. Dandridge, I believe it's. I mean, again, yes, it's Martha Dandridge is correct. Not sure why that's not happening down there. I am giving it to you, historical. It is correct. Is it like, do they want like Martha? Oh, they want the first name. The first time in the history of playing this website that they wanted the first name. I don't know why Custis. Okay, very strange. They wanted the first names. You guys have been playing with me long enough to realize that's never happened before. Now, do we know who a president of the pro tempore was during Washington's administration? There were 7 of them. Also, a senior officer of the U.S. Army. Again, one of them, technically it was called the Legion of the United States. Langdon. That's a good answer. Woo! John Langdon nailed it. The first one, I didn't realize he was first. I knew Richard Henry Lee stepped in. Oh, John Langdon came back again. Very interesting. William Bingham's a big name, too. Okay, so one of these guys has a great name. He fights in the Northwest Indian War. A great nickname, I should say. I'll say his first name sounds Italian, even though there was not a lot of people of Italian heritage living in the United States at the time. secretary to the president. One of these guys ends up being at Washington's bedside when he passes away, and marries his daughter. Oh, and I'm out of time. Well, we got 14 out of 10. That's a 14 out of 16. That's a really good score. This is a very tricky question. We did not get commanding general. So, oh, I forgot about Josiah Harmar. I considered St. Clair. Wasn't sure if they were including him. Mad Anthony Wayne is the name I was referencing. Again, Anthony sounds Italian, but I don't think he was, because I don't know if any people from the what they called the Papal States at the time, because Italy was not the nation of Italy as we think of it today. But not a lot of people involved in the American Revolution. Although I did see the name Ralph Izard, who was appointed a secretary to Tuscany, though that didn't work out. They didn't recognize him at all. And these were, that's right, William Jackson for secretary to the president. Tobias Lear was his secretary for a long time, marries one of his daughters. He's the one who ends up being there at Washington's deathbed. And William Jackson was secretary to the Constitutional Convention. He did a very poor job, and that's why we have trouble. Luckily, James Madison and Robert Yates took really good notes of the Constitutional Convention, because William Jackson did a terrible job. Very cool. A lot of fun names on here. Again, we got Adams when we typed in the other Adams, because John Quincy, back in the 1790s, though a very young man, was the minister to the Netherlands in his 20s, working for George Washington while his dad was vice president. And when his dad was president, continued working in Europe, a very, very important thing. Let's see, and then here's the Park family. These are his grandkids. John Parke Custis actually dies he gets yellow fever like at the Battle of Yorktown, which is like the only participation he had in the Revolutionary War. And then Eleanor Parke Custis, I think she's the one who marries Tobias Lear, and then I believe it's their daughter marries Robert E. Lee, famous for the famous general in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. I think one of Washington's step descendants does marry into that family. I believe it was her, though. Truthfully, I haven't put that much research into anyone other than not Tobias Lear, John Parke Custis. I've done a lot of research on him. Now let's see. Let's head back here to trivia. Anyone popping in, let us know you're here so that I can wait for you when you're answering. Want to make sure everyone gets a turn. We're going to bounce over to the next question. Again, we're focusing on Stamp Act for a lot of today. So, true or false? The Stamp Act taxed all forms of written documentation, including playing cards. Washington's first secretary, Madison. I don't know if Madison was technically. I don't know if Madison was Washington's secretary at any point, because when he was younger, he was studying law. And by the time he goes in to do his assessments, Washington's already kind of successful, and Madison goes to study with lawyers. Unless there's another Madison. There were a bunch of Madisons around at the time. And I'm seeing a bunch of trues. And yeah, it's true. In fact, it would seem to be all form of printed documents, because dice were also taxed, I understand, and a few other things like that. Additionally, wallpaper, which is interesting, I think. Let's move on to another question. Let's have some fun. What 3-word phrase best describes the colonists' problem with the Stamp Act? This is easier than it sounds. Question feels a little tricky. I considered, I'll give you a hint. I considered making this a 4-word phrase. It is kind of the slogan of the American Revolution if you're looking at it in a grade school textbook. And not looking at all the reasons of the American Revolution broke out. But the big famous reason is this. While you guys are thinking about it, now again, unfortunately, I'm about 6 seconds ahead of you guys today instead of the usual 3 or 4, which feels like an eternity when I'm trying to stall and give you the opportunity to answer the questions a little bit. While you're here, if you want to hit like, because I do see answers coming through, if you got a second, hit me like. That's the best thing you do in the whole wide world, because it helps get us more people to come play trivia with us. And I am seeing answers come through. And yeah, the 3-letter phrase is taxation without representation. But the 4-letter phrase, as you guys are putting down there, no taxation without representation. Again, generally attributed to James Otis. Although actually the phrase had come around in Scotland a few decades earlier when they had very similar problems with Great Britain that not just the American colonies had. It was an empire on which the sun never set, and therefore that empire had a lot of people with a lot of concerns. Continuing on, taxes were raised in the colonies to pay for what war? So again, we're focusing on the Stamp Act right now. So in the 1760s, before the Revolutionary War, taxes were raised to pay for what war? It is fairly famous. This is a little, we have moved on to the harder questions, the scholar. Oh, small screen over here. The scholar questions as opposed to the student questions. The long form I did abbreviate it. Various taxes were levied. Easy for me to say. Various taxes were levied on the North American colonies in an effort to raise money to cover the debts of what war? Yes, everyone's coming in with correct answers over here. Oh, thank you for all the likes. Just need a little reminder. Everyone's coming with correct answers. Nick has the most correct answer. It is the French and Indian War, though it is the 7 Years' War is what its worldwide title is. We know it here as the French and Indian War because, of course, we were fighting a team made up of the French and Indians. But, hey, Colonel, thank you for showing up. 7 Years' War. It took me a long time to kind of train myself to start calling it primarily the 7 Years' War because it really is more accurate, even though it took, 8 years. The 7 Years' War is, it's like if we were to call the World War I that war in Europe. It just feels a little more appropriate to call it the 7 Years' War. But, of course, French and Indian War is correct. So, let's keep it on. Why did British merchants oppose the Stamp Act? Ooh, why did British merchants oppose the Stamp Act? Now, again, keep in mind in the 1760s when the Stamp Act was coming around, everyone was British. All of the colonists considered themselves British. So all of the merchants consider themselves British. So this wasn't so much a, how do you say, it wasn't just particularly merchants working in London. It was all of the merchants in the world that were under the guise of the Great British Empire. Misfit coming in with, they knew it would cause a boycott. That is an interesting way to phrase it. Let's see if everyone else agrees. I'll give you guys another second or two. Like I said, I'm a little bit ahead compared to where I usually am, so I'm going to stall for a second here. Give you guys just an opportunity to say it. Actually, coming through with a similar answer, and I'm going to pop it up as people are answering, which actually is a little bit more correct because it hurt business. Pretty much straight up. On the card, it says colonists had stopped importing their products. That's not, I don't really love that answer because they didn't really agree to it wasn't like after the first Continental Congress where they issued a real boycott, but there was a wave of self-reliance where they tried to, and Nick's right, it hurt their profit, and even the threat of not buying things, all the merchants were like, not only do they not want to and boycott and threaten to it, and the paperwork, yes, but they couldn't necessarily afford some of the tax raises, which hurt business. So the colonists, to a large degree, were like, I can't, no thanks. And so it was, and this is what I was referencing before when I said I wanted to come back to it. There was an earlier question that said, after protests by the colonists, the Stamp Act was repealed. Yes, after the protests, the Stamp Act was repealed, but those protests hurt merchant business. And even before it really hurt merchant business bad, the merchants said, hey, Britain, before this gets bad, we need to stop because you know what's important? Profit. Some things very rarely change. Let's see. Hey, Lisa, long time. Yeah, we got a big crowd today. That's great. This is fun. Thank you for coming, guys. I'm having a good time. Now, we are going to move to our last, 2 cards. Yep, I got it. Another History Happened Here card. What happened in the Chesapeake Bay off Yorktown, Virginia on September 5th, 1781. Wow. I know you see the phrase Yorktown in there. Is that tricky? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know. I typed in the answers before we started playing, so I do know. But do you know? I do want to note that our first question today, for anyone who popped in late, I usually put the easier questions at the beginning because I know some of you guys popped on late. Absolutely cool. But our first question was what happened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on September 5th, 1774, which was the first Continental Congress gavelled into session. But I didn't realize until after I typed it in that both what happened here questions are from September 5th. One from 1774, one from 1781. See some answers coming in. Started working with a local museum. Oh, awesome. That's awesome, historical. That's a lot of fun. What museum? Let us know. I think you're a little further south. I don't want to make assumptions on your location. But if it's close enough, we'll come hang out. Ashley, you have gotten the incorrect answer. I apologize. That's why it's tricky. It is not actually the Battle of Yorktown. I don't know of it being called the Battle of the Chesapeake, but I that's essentially right. Colonel, yes, they got rocked. And yes, the French fleet attacked the British. I'm going to read some of the answer a little bit at length here because it is very interesting. French Admiral Francois de Grasse and his fleet battled Admiral Thomas Graves's British fleet for control of the Chesapeake Bay. In early August, after learning that Grasse had left the West Indies for the Chesapeake with 29 ships and 3,000 men, General George Washington prepared his army to march south from New York. He had convinced Comte de Barras, a French naval commander, to transport the army's stores of meat and artillery from warehouses in Newport, Rhode Island, to Virginia. Grasse reached the Chesapeake Bay on August 31st as Graves was leaving New York with 19 ships to engage the French fleet. On September 5th, the French sailed from the bay and fiercely battled Graves on the open seas, damaging several British ships. While the armadas clashed, Barras' 8 ships slipped into the bay with Washington's supplies. With his ships damaged and now outnumbered, Graves retreated to New York, leaving Grasse in command of the bay and blockading General Cornwallis at Yorktown. So this doesn't technically count as Yorktown, but this is essentially the reason Yorktown is able to be won. Again, I guess we call it the Battle of the Chesapeake. I've not seen it listed as that, but that makes a lot of sense. Basically, it's not just that the French meet with the British. It's that the British hear the French are coming, so they go down to fight. And it's not even that the French win the battle. It's that while the French are battling, more French ships take the food and weapons from Rhode Island and sneak it into the Chesapeake so that Washington can march his army down and have them supplied to fight the battle. And then when the French win, now Chesapeake is taken, Cornwallis is surrounded, and the army has guns and food. This is really, from my understanding, arguably the most important military moment in winning the Revolutionary War. Not in the whole war. You know, there are obviously various turning points, like without Saratoga campaign, the French wouldn't even be there in the first place, things like that. But I'll say this, it's probably the most important naval battle of the American Revolution. That I could say with a good deal of confidence. British Navy got owned, yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, Lisa, that's awesome. South Carolina, yeah, I thought you were further south. Well, I don't know if I'll be making it to South Carolina anytime soon, but when I do, I sure can't wait to see you down there. I will note, I am going to be at the American Revolutionary, what is it called? In the Mohawk Valley. The Mohawk Valley Museum American Revolution Conference. I will post about it later this week. I have to book my hotel this weekend. But in the Mohawk Valley in upstate New York, there is a great Revolutionary History conference. I think I've talked Michael Troy from the American Revolution podcast coming. I know Christian Despina, author of Founding Martyr, is going to be there. I didn't go there last year. No one went there last year. But in years past, I've been there, and it's a really great time. There's a lot of fun people. There's a bunch of lectures about the American Revolution, just all revolution, all weekend. So if you guys have the opportunity, I really recommend you try and make it. If not, that's okay too. Let's see. The Fifth Amendment. Oh, that's right. Okay, we're going to our Constitution card. Doesn't necessarily mean it's from the American Revolution, but as I like to say, I bought these in Philadelphia at the American across the street from Independence Hall. And it does have to do with the Constitution, which you might know was written about the time of the American Revolution. So, is the Fifth Amendment's protection from self-incrimination limited to testimony given in a courtroom? Let me know. I'm going to take a quick sip of water, because I got a few seconds on you guys, but let me know. Okay, Colonel coming in with a hard nope. Let's see. We'll give everyone else a second to answer. Well, while we're answering, you might notice I did make a little bit of a change. I just took one thing off. Let me know. Do you like it like this? Do you like the look of this? Or this is what it used to look like? Which frames it up better if I'm in the right spot. But this feels a little more comfortable to me. How do you guys feel? Let me know what you think. Wish I could leave the East Coast and visit the American Revolution museums. I'm with you, Nick. I am technically on the East Coast, but I'm still like, even being like 3 hours away feels like an eternity. Although I will say, fortunately, a lot of the towns around me were all founded during the Washington presidency, which is cool. So I do get a lot of those little blue signs. We got some mostly agreement, although a little disagreement there. The answer is no. And that is based off the Miranda versus Arizona in 1666. The Miranda, I don't know if it's a law, I don't remember the phrase, but when the cops have to tell you you have the right to remain silent, means you have the right to not incriminate yourself at all times. You can also incriminate yourself pretty much at any time, but you have the right to do your best not to, and that is constitutionally protected by the Fifth Amendment, because don't plead guilty, I guess, would be my not legal advice. Hashtag not legal advice. You like without the flame border? Okay, yeah. Yeah, me too. I've been doing the same thing with my weekend review, which, by the way, anyone who popped in late, I'm sorry I didn't do the weekend review yesterday. I'm actually more sorry. I knew I wasn't going to. I'm really sorry I didn't warn you guys ahead of time. Not a cool thing to do. I was out of town for a few days with my family, visiting some science museums. And I apologize for that. I am going to do a makeup version tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can make it, please feel free to attend. Ask any questions, as always. Now, our last question today is, who were the delegates to the Constitutional Convention from North Carolina? Now, I'm going to pop a countdown up here once I see a guess. It's a little bit of a tricky question. I'm going to run the countdown, excuse me, 3 times. I forgot to pop up my little thing here. I'm gonna get a little brighter for just 1 second. Is this it? There it is. There it is. Okay, really bright. Let's see. We've got a guess. A carol. Ooh, good guess. But the carols are from the Southern Carolina. Actually, nope. No carols on the Constitution. That is a declaration name. No. No, there were carols. Keep guessing. Let me check. Carols. Oh, no, the carols are from Maryland. Yes, I forgot. Daniel Carroll was from Maryland. Good guess, though. I was wrong. It is a correct answer. Davy. We got a Davy. Yes. William. There he is. William Richardson Davy of North Carolina. Ashley, yes. You know what? I was thinking about it before we did this today, that one of my hints was going to be, hey, Ashley, if you were here, I was going to say, you like to add son to names. Yes, William Blount, which wink, wink, is going to be tomorrow's founder. He is a lot of fun. He goes to the Constitutional Convention, then kind of leaves, and then comes back. He's actually the one person who's involved with both the Constitution and the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, which is an extremely important early document. Yes, we got Richard Dobbs Spaight over here, and I didn't even do the timer. It doesn't look like we need it. We have one more. Oh, historical. Nailed it. Okay, wow. That went a lot quicker than I expected it to. Yes, these are the 5 people who attended the Constitutional Convention. Now, Alexander Martin and William Richardson Davy did not sign the document. They left for different reasons. I always mix the two up. One went back to the Continental Congress, which was meeting in New York at the time, and one went home. But those are the 5 delegates to the Constitutional Convention from North Carolina. Man, you guys nailed that. You guys looking it up? It's okay if you did. I don't think you did. I believe you. So, yeah, historical, really nailing it. Well, she's from the Carolinas. We've just established that she's down, working at a museum in the Carolinas. So, she's probably a little bit closer to it than many of the rest of us. Well done, Lisa. You nailed it. That being said, you know what time it is. Anyone just signing in? We're going to do something we do every week. If you're new here, it might be a lot for you to handle, but it's a whole lot of fun. I am bouncing back over to the interweb here. Oh, you're just reading about them. Nice. And we are going to pull up that right screen. We are going to nail the legislative branch. Excuse me. Oh, I'm all choked up today. You know what? I'll bring myself back up. For anyone who's new here, I gotta give the rundown. What we're about to do is try and name 243 founders. It is a lot. Now, we've done this a bunch of times, so if this is your first time, feel free to get overwhelmed, but feel free to participate. We're not just naming any American founder. We are specifically focusing on the legislative branch. That means anyone who attended the First Continental Congress, anyone who signed the Declaration of Independence, anyone who signed the Articles of Confederation, anyone who attended the Constitutional Convention, and anyone who was in the inaugural 1789 House of Representatives or United States Senate. It's a lot of names. It's a lot of fun. We're going to try. Last week we did in about 17 minutes. One time we did it in 10. We're going to try and get it in 10 minutes today. That means repeating names. I'm typing everything I get. So if we repeat names, it's going to set us back. That doesn't mean don't repeat names, because it's better to say it twice than not at all. I'm going to take a sip of water. For the reason I got a tickle in my throat, I'm going to pop back over here. Where is it? Nope. Over here. Back over here. Yes. And as soon as I see, we got 20 minutes. Let's try and do it in 10. As soon as I see a name, I'm going to hit play quiz, and we're going to start rocking. I suggest starting out with the big six, which if you're new here, the big six are the ones that most of us call the Founding Fathers. Those you see before you. There is a lot more people than just six. All right, we got Jefferson. Don't know if we started out with Jefferson before, but hey, I'll take it. Okay, Hamilton, Washington, Sherman, Franklin, Adams, J. Adams just did. Morris, absolutely. Franklin just did. Madison, did we just do? Nope. Another Madison. Now, everyone likes Madison. Got Morris. Mason, whammy, nice. Taking a break. Taking a break. Taking a break. Monroe, count them. Initial Senator. Wilson. Monroe, everyone. Oh, I love how you guys are on the same page. Rush, definitely. Dana. Did it go? It just went really quick. Okay. Gwinnett, very expensive signature nowadays. Page, Hancock, he was there. Reed, Paca, Williams, Williamson, other Reed. Well done, guys. Just did Monroe. Sinixon. Love that name, man. He sounds evil, but I'm sure he's an alright guy. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know a lot about him. He might not have been a great guy. Hawkins, Floyd, Harvey, friend of Jefferson's, college roommate of Jefferson's, I believe. Floyd. No, he was a childhood friend of Jefferson's. Clark, do we do Clark? Davy, yep, don't want to forget the ones we just did. Dickinson, absolutely. If I spell it right, it would be right. Dickinson, Blount. Davy just did. Spaight, Harvey just did. I love how you guys are on the same page. Martin, Johnson, Harnett, not Hartnett, not Josh Hartnett. Spaight, oh, Colonel Retractant, okay, I'll take it. Houston, if I can spell it again. Ooh, not my day. Bland, right at the top there. Number 1, Maclay. Houston. Carroll, now it counts, Nick. Well done. Blount. Did we do Blount? We did. Hudson. Hanson. Ingersoll. Hancock. Middleton. Oh, we did Hancock. That's right. Middleton, we did not do. Parker. Payne. Dayton. Muhlenberg. Dean, I think Muhlenberg's too, because they were brothers. Dwayne, although one I think focused on the war. Rutledge, Dyer, Conti, King, Hart. Okay, never mind. Actually, I see you coming with the DeHart in there too. St. Clair, Sini, DeHart, Dewar, Morton, Lynch, Martin. Gotta wait for my computer to catch up. You guys are going so fast. Van Dyke. Are there any more Vans in there we don't want to forget? Lee. Bunch of Lees. Whole bunch of Lees. Smith. Collins. Elbridge. You're thinking, nope, what's Elbridge's last name? Hayward. Ames. Holden. N. Hughes. Johnson. Did we do? We did, but that's right. Lewis, because Johnston we did not do. Hanson. Oh, we did Hanson, that's right. Van Rensselaer. Rensselaer. Oh, it's the van I missed. Rensselaer. It's A-E at the end, Ashley. It's very confusing. Obviously, a very hard name to spell. Dayton, we must have done. Drayton, we did not do. Otis. Collins, technically Otis should not be on this list, but he's there, and it's very nice of them to include him. I think we did Bourne. Huntington. Baldwin. Collins. I think, yeah, we did. Oh, did I spell right? I'm worried about Collins. Okay, we got it. Cadwallader. Bloodworth. Wadsworth. Jackson. Wentworth. Dana. Oh, we did Dana pretty right. Oops, did I? Yep. Dana Ellsworth. Oh, someone gave us a like. Thank you. Langworthy. Does that count as a worth? I like it. Bartlett. Sinixon. We did because I said it. Sounds shady. Mick Henry. Hooper. Mick Henry. Hooper. Oh, we did Hooper twice in a row. Mason. We did Mason. Great. Bannister. Bland's right at the top there. Strong. Foster. Crane. Langdon. Morton. Did we do Morton? We did Morton. That's okay. Few. Klingon. Broom. Butler. Gilman. McClay. Did McClay. Sevier. Is it Sevier? We must have done Sevier already. Dewar. Did we do? I think we did. Martin. I think we did. Sherman. Yeah, we got that right at the beginning. Dalton. Walton. Ooh, those rhyme. Well done, Ashley. Coles. Ellery. 2 L's. Livingston. Absolutely. There it is. Henry. Whipple. Ames. I think we did. But Ash, we did not do. Alsop. Which I've realized Aesop. I was calling it Aesop, and that's definitely spelled differently. Brearley. Wolcott. Some kind of truck driving by. Whoa. Gary. There he is. Patterson. With. Ellery. We just did. But now that I spelled it wrong, I want to make sure I spelled it right. Ellery. Harnett. Did. Elmer. Good. Mifflin. Yes. Brown. Partridge. With we just did. Harvey we did a few times at the beginning. Crane I think we did. That's all right. Clymer. Yes. Grayson. Fitzsimmons. Mercer. Gale. Reed. Oh, we did the Reeds. That's right. Ingersoll. Must have gotten him. Lawrence. Hall. Izzard. Bedford. Benson. Sylvester. Langworthy. All right. Leonard. Broom. Grout. Oh, we did Broom. Grout. Hathorn. Lewis, I think we did. That's right. Pendleton. Oh, computer. What are you doing here? Okay. Pendleton. Jennifer. Steele. Bannister, did we do? I think we did, yeah. Randolph. Probably 2. Yes, 2. Right on my screen. Lovell. Blair. St. Clair, I think we did. Dana, we definitely did. Jennifer, we just did. Braxton. McKean. Telfair. Rutledge. Did we do? Must have done. Bartlett. Randolph, I think we just did. Tucker. Matthews. Pinkney is 2. Trumbull. Thatcher. Butler, did we do? Yeah, we did. Okay. Hartley. Mick. Clerg. Lansing, there he is. Baldwin. Did Yates actually coming through with those New York Anti-Federalists. Telfair is a founder of the week. Gonna talk about him tomorrow. Heister. Giles. Walker. Okay. Sherman. I'm gonna go with Smith there, historical. It looks like we did. Livermore. Biddle. Parker. Up to Parker. Bartlett we did. Goodhue. Sturgis. Scudder. Whipple we did. Sedgwick. Galloway. Thornton. Penn. Gunn. Boudinot. Robert Doe. Humphreys. Borum. Ellery. Got that. Son. Wincoop. Hopkins. Got, okay. Wingate. Dwayne. Did. Robert, we just did. Gorham. Yes. Marchant. Walcott. Oh, we did. Dickinson. Do we do? Yes. Good, good, good. Lloyd, I think we did. Oh. Come on, Jay. Lloyd, we did. Taylor. Harrell. We did, yep. Jace. Klingon. Clark. Smith, we did. Marchant. Did. Matthews. Got. Holden. Taylor. Ross. Hosmer. Rodney. Witherspoon. Fitzsimmons. Okay, almost done. Fitzsimmons. Partridge. I think we did. Yep. Rush we got. Rodney. Must have done. McKean. Alright, Lovell. Paul. Oh, we're repeating a lot of them now. Chase, we did. Blair. Oh, we got him. Clymer. Okay, Vining. That's a new one. Taka, good. Oh, I guess we did that. Okay, Hooper. I don't even remember which ones we did. Herring, yes. Taka just tried. With we did. Wisner. Yes, these New York boys, upstate New York. Represent. Rutledge. Ross. Benson. Must have done that. Wow. Hughes. Lawrence. Oh, man. Oh, guys. Doing a lot of repeating right now. Having an off week, I guess. Although we're doing really good, and we're only 10 minutes in. We didn't get the Lawrence. That works. We didn't get the 10-minute mark we wanted, but we are doing very good. Skyler is, I'm assuming, actually, yeah. Patterson. I think we did. Yep. Hayward. That's spelled right. We did not do. Okay, or we did. Yes, we did. Middleton, I think we did. Stockton, I don't remember doing. Brearley, I don't remember doing. EY? Brearley? Okay, I guess we did Brearley. Gadsden. Clark. Macklay. Pierce. Hugh. Tucker. We did. Gilman. Guess we did Gilman? Okay. Broom. I don't remember doing half these. Sumter. We did not do. McKean. Yes, we did. Jackson. I think we did. Hosmer. Yep. Izzard. Vining. Griffin. Mifflin. Hang on. Kinsey. Bannister. I think we did. Sherman. Did. Scott. That one's new. Hughes we did. Wisner we did. Houston we did. Lynch. Lang. Worthy. Yeah, we did that one a few times. Rodney. I'm pretty sure we did. Houston, we did. Oh, we're doing a lot of. Oh no, guys, did we run out of steam? Sevier, is that how you spell it? The I is after the V. Thank you, Ashley. Conti. Got. Carroll, we did. Stockton, I think we did. Goldsboro, we did not do. Stone, I don't think we did. With we did. Goldsboro, there it is. Same page, guys. All right, what do we got? 16 more? Okay, we do it. Let's see, can we get it with 5 minutes left? Let's try. Strong, I think we did. Tillman, I don't think we did. Tillman. Nope. Okay. Well, we got a First Continental Congress and Declaration signer from Virginia sitting right there. Nelson. It's a good one. Mercer, absolutely. We did Mercer? What? When? Wilton. That's a good one. Uh-oh. Audio stream's low. Don't get mad at me, computer. Cushing. Good one. Huntington. Did. Otis, I think we did. Floyd, I believe we did. Like I said, right there. Independent signer from Virginia. Sullivan. I don't remember doing as well. I spelled it wrong. Hold on. Well. Well. Do it well. Okay. Chase. Did. Eulenberg. I think we got pretty early on. Steele. Reeds we did. Stockton we did. Again, Virginia Independent signer. Tony singer, R&B singer Tony. Hopkinson. That should help. Oh, Folsom. Harrison. There's a good one. Oh, never mind. We already got Carter Braxton. Forget about my R&B singer. Didn't. Okay, we have a First Continental Congress delegate. Okay, you drive on. When you go places, you drive on. Herring, we got some Continental Congressman from Virginia. Oh, Lowe is a good one. Rhodes is the one I was hinting at. Yes. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I think it's the first time I've sneezed on a show. Biddle, yes. We really do Biddle? Okay, weird. Man, we're close. Not Nelson, I think we just did. We got Massachusetts. We've got New York. Thank you, Ashley. Sumter. We got Sumter. We have Jersey. We need some congressmen from South Carolina. South Carolina. Okay, yeah. Sorry, trying to think of hints. Bourne. Okay, we got Galloway. We got. I think Pennsylvania we're pretty much done on. Got these. Constitutional Convention delegate from Delaware. It's the guy I always confuse with the guy from New Jersey. Oh, I missed some. Grayson. Must have got. Humphreys. I think we got. What happened here? Oh, whoa. Pinkney. I think we got. Nelson, we did. Page. Ward. That's a good one. Winnett. I think we did right at the beginning. Gadsden, I do believe we got, and the Middleton family, I think we got. Cadwalader, we did. Constitutional Convention delegate from Delaware. I had trouble giving you a hint. Let's see. A senator in the first Congress from Rhode Island. That's a tough run. And oh no, my computer doesn't want to keep up with me. Randolph, I think we did. Okay. My computer's not happy. I'm scrolling. Pendleton. Nope, got Pendleton. These are going to be random names, I'm pretty sure. We need a senator from Rhode Island. Morrison, Bedford, we got. A constitutional convention delegate from Delaware. This should be the easy one, but I'm even drawing a blank. Do we do Putin? No. No. Oh, Richard Bassett is it. We just did him as founder of the day recently. Giles. Keep Broom. You guys keep really want me to keep typing Broom. Oh, one of the cats is trying to leave. 2 congressmen from South Carolina. Rodney, we got. I think we're done with Delaware at this point. Yeah, we got Delaware now. 2 congressmen from South Carolina. Pinckney, we did. Congressman from Virginia. 2 congressmen from. We're basically looking for congressmen in the first Congress, which is a lot of names. Oh, Burke. Yes. Good one. Coatsworth is a middle name. It's a Pinckney family. Pinckney. Try him again. Clymer? No, we got Pennsylvania. Dean. Okay, we did it. Hudson. Did it. Burke, we just got Aidness Burke, I think it's pronounced. Langdon. Yeah, we got New Hampshire. The senator from Rhode Island, man. Foster's the one I usually think of. Scudder. I don't remember doing Scudder, but we did. Man, this is tough. This is one of those days where we're just like down to the last licks here. Bedford, we definitely, yep, Gunning Bedford's right here. I don't even know what hints to give you because I'm at a loss. Ooh. Leonard. Okay, must have done it. Oh, man. Uh-oh, guys. Not our best week. Patterson. No, because we got all the signers at this point. And those are the big, heavy-hitting names, but this, we got Mason Huger. Okay, got one more right at the end there. Wait, I got 10 seconds. Again, I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, but combining, I think we got, yep. Let's see, and one, last second. Oh, White. And more. Oh, those are, you know what? We got Brown. But I don't remember White coming up. Oh, nice try, guys. Obviously not our best, as we've done it before. Stanton. Okay, Stanton. Joseph Stanton, and then Alexander White and Andrew Moore. 2 Virginians. You know, we usually get Virginia. Well, what are you going to do? We're going to cry about it. Wah! I'm like hunched over from typing in my computer all day. Well, that was fun, guys. Thank you. You can stop guessing now. That was a lot of fun. Whoever's just popping in now, we are just finishing trivia. It was fun. If you want to play trivia next week, as every Friday, like and subscribe. I put out short form videos every single day about a different American founder. Usually on Thursdays, I do a weekly wrap up of those founders, but this week it's tomorrow because I was out yesterday. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, special weekend edition of the weekly wrap up. We're only going through yesterday's founder because it's yesterday's or last week's. But it will be fun. Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for playing. Historical, Ashley, Misfit, Nick, you guys are amazing. What a fun time. The pain of fall. Yeah, it is tough. We've gotten that last quiz a lot of weeks in a row. To not get it is tough. Although we have gotten it enough times. We did it in 10 minutes that one time. I'm not entirely sure how we did that because I was typing the whole time. And we just, I guess, nailed it that one time. We'll see if we can ever do it again. I'm thinking about making some change. Anyway, just popping in. We just finished up trivia, but thank you for coming. Definitely like and subscribe to play trivia every Friday about the American Revolution. We are having fun. It will be great. I'm thinking about spicing it up because we've done the same things a bunch of times. So I'm thinking about spicing up how we do trivia. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you like the new visual format, then definitely let me know that too. You guys are great. This is a lot of fun. I am going to go set up my founder for tomorrow. because I've been out of town for a few days. So I got to finish that up now. Look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching, for playing, for hanging out. Nick is still rocking the guesses. I can't imagine I am that far ahead of you, bud. But keep guessing. You guys are amazing. I will leave you with Peacefield, and I'll be back with a founder for you tomorrow.